and welcome to Something Witchy, a Sabrina the Teenage Witch rewatch podcast. I'm Laura Cotter.
And I'm Skye Orchard.
And I am a reindeer.
Laura is a reindeer.
I was bored before Skye got on, so I was playing. Remember the 6 years ago when we were in for a 2-week lockdown?
The novelty.
And everybody was like, oh, here's all these fun Zoom backgrounds. And I have like a whole bunch of Disney and Pixar Zoom backgrounds. And so I was like playing through all of them. And then I found out Zoom now has filters you can put on your face. And I was like, it's a Christmas episode. I'm going to be a reindeer. So I'm a reindeer. Tonight I was teaching piano lessons before this. And one of my little ones brought some 3D printed lizards to her lesson. She always likes to bring toys to put up on the piano to listen to her play. I'm fine with that. Me and her stuffed panda are best friends. It's Pandy the panda.
Pandy the panda?
Pandy the panda. So she brought these 3 lizards, and I sent a picture over to Skye, and I'll post it on social media. Skye, do you notice something different about one of those lizards from the other 2?
One of these things is not like the other. One only has 1 foot.
You want to take a stab at what you think that lizard's name is and why I would send it to you?
Peggy?
Nope. That lizard's name is Skye.
Wow.
I was like, can I take a picture of this to show to my friend named Skye? And she was like, yes. I was like, thank you. The other ones are Tide Pool, and I can't remember what the other one was. The poor little one-legged lizard
Damaged.
is Skye.
So much damage. Feel that.
You have 2 eyes again.
I do have 2 eyes again.
You don't have COVID.
Whatever this respiratory thing is going on, obviously.
You poor thing.
I sounded sick, 2 weeks ago pre-surgery, and I had to push back surgery like 5 days as well. I got well enough to have my eyelid surgery, and then like that Thursday, it came back. And like, I think yesterday I took Sudafed at night. Today, so far, I have not had Mucinex or Sudafed. I don't even want to know what it's been doing.
Well, you sound better. You don't sound terrible.
Thank you.
We did get a comment on a couple episodes ago that you sounded like Marge Simpson towards the end.
Oh, gosh. Wow.
It did amuse the person who left that comment, but...
I'm glad I can entertain. At least someone's enjoying this, whatever it is.
Well, I'm hoping you read the question when you're doing your notes, because I should have warned you about it, because it's a bit of a thinker. If you didn't read it, that's okay. You can think about it now. What do you think the holiday Bobunk was about? / would be a holiday you would want to have?
I did actually see this question at the top of the notes, and I have been contemplating it for the past hour and a half.
Okay.
So because of the card at the end, it was Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and a joyous Bobunk.
Mm-hmm.
So Bobunk must occur after the New Year.
Okay.
Does Easter exist in this world?
I don't know if we ever see like an Easter bunny.
I was thinking of like what holiday could be like spring-esque. I'm gonna say Bobunk is like a sort of Groundhog's Day, and then Salem killed Bobunk. Maybe he's like a dragon or something. And so then they had to bring in this groundhog last minute to do whatever that groundhog does that is apparently important.
Okay, that took a dark turn. Okay. Well, there's Skye's take on Bobunk.
Completely bullshitting at like most things.
It's okay. Mine was, because I was thinking like if I wanted to invent a holiday, like what would I want Bobunk to be? And I was trying to think of like a time of year where we don't have a ton of holidays. I think I landed on like summer solstice time because like the equinox and winter solstice all have holidays around them. We got Halloween, Christmas, and Easter-ish is usually around vernal equinox time. We don't have anything around summer solstice. And I feel like that should be a party. Like the longest day of the year should be a party. And I think it should be like everything else is like really family focused. I think coming from a white girl, Western Christian background, these holidays for me have always been very like nuclear family focused. I don't have a ton of relatives I spend it with or anything. So for me, I was thinking it'd be more fun if it like there was a summer holiday that was more community based. I know other religions have things that are like that. I don't, because I'm a white Mormon girl. Unless you count conference.
Pioneer Day.
Kind of is like our Pioneer Day. So like the way that we celebrate Pioneer Day, where it's like a big, hangout on a summer night. That's what I'd want. Like, but for everybody to do it, where it's more like friends and community rather than just family. Like the way people do Friendsgiving.
Like that. That's a good Bobunk guess there.
I don't think there should be presents. But I do think there should be, what was I thinking? Oh, I was thinking if there is presents, I think it should be that you give each other plants.
Ooh, I like that.
June would be a good plant swap time.
Let's do it. A June Bobunk plant swap. Put it on our calendar. We'll definitely remember.
Include Flag Day and your birthday in there and just wrap it all up.
Just one long party.
Father's Day. Get your dad a Bobunk tie for Father's Day. Oh boy. Okay. Oh, I can't itch my eye or else my nose goes weird places.
That reindeer filter.
My reindeer nose. Okay. This is season 3, episode 11, Christmas Amnesia. And we have a rare occurrence. Our TV guide description is, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas until Sabrina accidentally erases the holiday. And the streaming description is the same.
Whoa.
I'm thinking the original TV guide description got deleted somehow.
The remote, they pressed the erase button on the remote.
There's no way streaming would use, because we've had other short TV guide descriptions that streaming have not used. So
sounds like some plagiarism to me.
Who owns TV Guide now? Is it like now one of like the Warner Brothers, Netflix, giant Paramount craziness?
That's a great question.
Is TV Guide independent? Is TV Guide one of our last independent news sources?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's all like a monopoly of like 4 companies.
Fandom, formerly known as WikiCities and Wikia, is a media conglomerate backed by a private equity firm. It has GameSpot, TV Guide, Game FAQs, Metacritic, Comic Vine. It's just a bunch of websites that they own, it looks like.
Interesting.
It originally aired December 11th, 1998. Kenneth Koch is returning as our director, and Frank Conniff is returning as our writer. Guest stars. First off is Josh Holland as Harrison from USA High, Legally Blonde 2, Red, White, and Blonde, and Port Charles. K.E. Cuter is Father Christmas from ER, Charmed, The Little Mermaid, Boy Meets World, and a bunch of Star Trek stuff. Gary Morgan as a doorman is mostly a stuntman. Did stunts for Back to the Future Part 2 and 3, Newsies, The Mask of Zorro, Rush Hour 2 and 3, Holes, and something called Silence of the Hams.
Add it to our list. I don't even need to know a description. I'm sold.
The poster was kind of funny too, if I remember. Next is Buddy Lewis as policeman from Drake and Josh, That's So Raven, Reno 911, and Pandemically Single that came out in 2020. You're not as enthused about putting that one on the list. Last one, and this one is going to lead to a tangent. I'm so sorry to everybody. If you want to skip past this, please, but it's going to be fun to talk about. Lastly, we have Davy Chase as the little girl. She is in Lilo and Stitch, The Ring, Oliver Bean, Touched by an Angel, and Utah, the musical. I texted Skye when I read this and was like, do you remember Utah, the musical that played at TuaCon from about 1995 to 1998? And Skye went, what is that? And I was like, oh no, that's right. You're not from Utah. I remember Utah, the musical. I went to see Utah, the musical with my family. I'm going to look to see if I still have the playbill in my trunk. Utah, the musical, Utah exclamation point.
Yeah, you got to be more excited when you say it. Utah!
Utah! It tells of Jacob Hamblin's story of the founding of southern Utah and the peace established between the Mormon settlers and the natives in the area. The show took advantage of the amphitheater's setting and the impressive technical aspects by recreating a flash flood on stage. I remember that. I remember how everybody was like, ooh, so fancy. And now TuaCon floods the stage for like every freaking show they have. Doesn't matter if there's no water in that show, they will put water in that show. So I sent the article to Skye saying, how do you not know about this? Read about this. And it was written in the local newspaper about how it was this huge production and it was so amazing. Composed by Kurt Bester of Christmas fame. And then I was reading more, and it was like, oh, the lyrics are by the guy who did a movie called Saturday's Warrior. Most of you who are listening to this are not going to know what Saturday's Warrior are. I think there's at least one person who will. If you enjoy recreational, mind-altering substances, might I suggest you partake in the substance of your choice and you watch Saturday's Warrior one night. It is about a Mormon family and about the trials and tribulations of being Mormon, and has some of the most interesting songs you will ever hear. Did you ever listen to the one I linked to you, Skye?
No.
The Will I Wait for You? Oh, okay.
I said, but do I want it in my head? This feels like a trap.
Yes.
And you said, click it in all caps.
And then you said, I'm working. And I was like, so what? Just listen to it anyway. Anyway, so it's part of every millennial Utah Mormon's upbringing to have watched Saturday's Warrior at least once.
I have not watched it.
It's an experience that like is so hard to describe because you just gotta live it for yourself. So that's my recommendation, everybody. Take a pill, smoke a joint, drink some alcohol.
Wow.
And then enjoy Saturday's Warrior the way it was meant to be enjoyed. Or try doing it sober and maybe you'll love it. I don't know. What were your overall thoughts on this episode, Skye?
I liked the start. I like a Sabrina Scrooge, someone after my own heart.
Okay.
And then I didn't like the end. And we'll get closer to the end and we'll talk about why I didn't like the end.
Okay.
Specifically, the very end. I am very frustrated.
Okay. It was fine. Was it the best Christmas episode we've had? No. It was cute. I like the Salem wanting a snowboard subplot. Melissa Joan Hart sounded very sick during this episode. She sounded like you sounded 2 episodes ago on this podcast.
Yeah.
It was very noticeable.
I felt for her.
I was looking at the Sabrina wiki because sometimes they have like fun little facts. And I was just saying they didn't note that she sounds like she has a cold. But then it says, another likely scenario was that she was also a party goer who dabbled in drug usage. As revealed in her autobiography, Melissa explains it all. What drugs make you sound like you have a cold?
I don't even know.
I don't think this was a drug. Like, if she says she used drugs occasionally, like, I'm not going to be like, Melissa Joan Hart never used drugs. She's a saint. I just advocated for drug use earlier on this podcast.
You sure did.
I don't believe any drugs that I know of would make you sound congested.
Yeah, I think it's just a good old case of the congestion. Maybe she has a lot of Mucinex in her system and Sudafed. I
think she would sound less congested if she did. Maybe she didn't have enough.
Yeah.
All right, we shall get into it. Our cold open. Sabrina fights with a string of lights.
She calls them useless, to which Salem says, those lights aren't useless, Sabrina. They probably grew up underprivileged and never got a decent education.
Zelda comes down dressed like Mrs. Claus, asking if everyone is feeling jolly, while Sabrina curses at the lights.
Ugh, I'm just going to chop them up into little pieces and leave them in a suitcase by the highway.
That's dark. Hilda comes in from putting up the lights outside, wearing a wreath around her face. She shows them how it even lights up.
So it's true. Taste does skip a generation, says Salem.
Sabrina finally gives up and zaps the lights on the tree. Zelda says she didn't need to use magic. The point of Christmas is to enjoy the time together, not have things be perfect. The circuit overloads and the lights go out, but Hilda smugly laughs with her lighted wreath.
Who's the stupid one now? Salem. Still you.
Our outfit intro is a reindeer, like me. And she says, want to play some reindeer games? Salem talks about how much she wants a snowboard as everyone decorates the kitchen. Sabrina is still grumpy about all the Christmas stuff. Hilda and Zelda try to get her to cheer up. Zelda zaps in a globe, showing all the lights around the world. It doesn't work. The toaster pops up an invite for a Christmas Eve party at the hippest club in the other realm for Sabrina. But Zelda and Hilda say that's when they have their family dinner. Sabrina doesn't understand why she can't go.
And that differs from every other night. How? Sabrina asks. And Hilda lets her know, well, we use the good china.
Did your family use good china at Christmas?
Or Christmas plates. I don't know if they were china. I don't think that was china.
They weren't like paper or plastic, were they?
A plate, whatever plates are made out of.
I count that as the good china.
Perfect.
We had fancy plates too. And then my mom was like, I hate washing things by hands. We're not doing this anymore. And I think she got rid of it.
These were dishwasher safe, I'm pretty sure.
We had like the old school silverware too that you like had to polish it.
Ooh.
Yeah. And she really hated that.
I would too.
Yeah, we didn't do that for very long. Mrs. Quick is passing out candy canes with her mom, both dressed like elves. She even cancels all the tests for the day. Valerie and Harvey greet a still moody Sabrina with a Merry Christmas. Harvey is excited because his mom is over her morning sickness and they can have gravy.
I had no clue she was pregnant. Crazy.
I am actually excited for the episode where his mom gives birth because it's pretty cute.
Oh gosh.
I know you're going to like it, I think.
We'll see.
It's good. She's not the only one who gives birth, I'll tell you that.
Oh, gosh, no.
Anyway, Harvey's excited to eat gravy, and Valerie got hired at her aunt's boutique so she can have money for presents. Sabrina responds snarkily to both of them. Harvey tries to cheer her up by telling her they've been invited to a Christmas party. She is interested in this and says she'll ask her aunts. And I was excited to see that there are Christmas posters in the hallway. Like a lot of them, we swapped out all the regular posters for Christmas stuff. But Sabrina's is the only locker that does not have paper ornaments on it because she's grumpy. The scene flips and the aunts say no about her going to the party because she promised to go caroling. This is where I have an issue. As teenagers, it is important to give them space to spend time with their peers and develop into social humans. I don't think the entire Christmas season, every single night, needs to be taken up with a family activity. I think there should be space for friendship activities as well. A lot of my Christmas season is, filled with family, but there's definitely a lot of friend-heavy stuff in there too. And I think that's equally important. And I think trying to say caroling is more important than one night spent at a party with her peers. The answer wrong for this one.
That's a valid point. I will give it to you.
Also because it's caroling.
Yeah.
I know. But anyway, Sabrina doesn't stand up for herself. She begrudgingly agrees to go caroling with them. Hilda notes that she and Zelda have been stringing popcorn for hours and getting nowhere. They notice that Salem has been on the side of the sofa, eating all of it.
I'm only eating the popcorn because it helps me get the string down. Gross, Salem.
Hilda, Zelda, and Sabrina are caroling, and it just so happens to be at the party house. Harvey and Valerie warn Sabrina to run so they don't get hit with snowballs.
We'll try and hold them off. We'll tell them you're lepers. Go.
Zelda and Hilda don't understand why Sabrina's upset and think it's fun that there's a party and maybe there's wassail inside. Zelda and Hilda, clue in a little bit. You saw Harvey and Valerie at the door. You understand that this is the party Sabrina wanted to go to. I've never seen the aunts be this clueless before about being a teenager. Sabrina runs off, and Zelda and Hilda agree they need to double their efforts to get Sabrina in the holiday spirit. So they're just going to make things worse. We get a montage to Rocking Around the Christmas Tree by Brenda Lee on Hulu.
It was Jingle Bells on Paramount Plus.
A specific Jingle Bells or just like instrumental Jingle Bells?
I could actually hear the lyrics. There was actually people singing.
Sabrina is posing with a mall Santa, then building a snowman that Sabrina puts a frowny face on. Hilda and Zelda are posing with the mall Santa, not the small Santa. They're building gingerbread houses, and Sabrina's is the jail, but it was pretty impressive looking being built out of gingerbread.
I built a gingerbread graveyard the last time I built gingerbread.
That makes sense for you. Kids are laughing as all three pose with the mall Santa. They are reading Christmas stories, but Sabrina's reading Crime and Punishment. They're hanging their stockings with their names, and Sabrina's says whatever. Salem sneaks down to the Christmas tree when everyone is out and unwraps all the presents looking for his snowboard.
Very important observation I made is we have a different cat actor than the last episode who's slightly chunkier because that cat actor's primordial pooch is swinging as it runs to the tree. Very swinging pooch.
That's probably more accurate for Salem, to be honest.
That's very true.
Sometimes those cats are a little svelte, and that's not the Salem that we know.
And love.
Did you see the post Melissa Joan Hart put on Instagram of the I always think about him, and it's pictures of her with Salem over the years?
No, I did not see that.
I shared it on our Instagram. It was really funny. The family arrives back home before he can get to the one that's snowboard shaped. He runs off saying they've been attacked by the unwrapping bandit. Hilda compliments the show they just saw. And I'm like, oh, it's the Nutcracker, based on the comment and their outfits. And then Sabrina says maybe she's just too old for Rugrats on Ice and storms off.
I would love Rugrats on Ice.
Really?
That sounds like a great throwback to childhood.
Yeah.
Are you not a Rugrats fan? Did you not own the orange VHS?
We did not have cable. So I didn't see any of this until my sister went to college when I was 12, and she had cable in her dorm. And on moving days, I got to watch all the Nickelodeon I wanted, which is how I got into Blue's Clues at the age of 12. But no, I didn't grow up with Rugrats.
Gasp.
Yeah, I know. I grew up with Saturday's Warrior.
One of us has more culture, and it's me.
Excuse me? Excuse me? You have not listened to that. I will wait for you.
I mean, yes, but I have listened several times to the ooh ee ooh ah ah ting tang walla walla bing bang.
Okay. Sabrina finds a present on her desk in her room from the other realm. She opens it, and a voice reminds her about the party she was invited to while Salem dances. Are you going to wrap this for us?
We shall see.
Okay, let's do it.
Yo, what's up? There's a Christmas Eve party in the other realm. There's some cool party people who at the helm. You're sitting in the house and it's already started. You was invited, girl. Why aren't you at the party? Peace.
That last rhyme.
Not great.
No, it's not great. Oh, and it like flings little confetti into the air when she opens it too while it's singing. Sabrina decides to ask the ants about going again. We flip scene to the ants saying yes this time. They've done everything to put her in the holiday spirit, and it hasn't worked, so she can go. She would have been in the holiday spirit if they let her do the things she wanted, which was go hang out with her friends. Like, that would have helped put her in the holiday spirit. Forcing her to do things that are embarrassing or hard for her as a teenager is not going to do it. I say as a person who's never raised a child. But I have been a teenager. Sabrina zooms out of the room, leaving the kitchen door swinging. Sabrina arrives at the party, but her name isn't on the list. She tries to zap it on, but it doesn't work. She's being escorted out when a cool guy says he invited her. The doorman stutters as he tries to excuse why he didn't let her in. He sighs and jumps out the window. The cool guy introduces himself as Harrison, the person who organizes all the special parties at the club. Sabrina says she loves it, and he says she's just the kind of person they want there. And they use the word bridge and tunnel. We're not from New York, so we don't hear that. Bridge and tunnel is a term, a pejorative term, used to describe people who live in communities around the island of Manhattan and commute to it for work or entertainment. Talking about how to get into Manhattan, you either have to use a bridge or go through a tunnel. It means you're uncool.
Not on the list, and you're a bridge and tunnel person.
So suck it. I don't know what the equivalent would be for us. Point of the mountain person.
She'll be coming around the mountain.
Sabrina's here because she hates family Christmas stuff. He gives her darts to throw at a Santa picture. She hits the Santa in the eye.
Harrison lets her know when you hit the other eye, it actually bleeds.
That's dark. Then he shows her a reindeer piñata, and the poor little reindeer is like screaming for its life.
Yeah, like, oh, my spine.
Yeah, it was rough. Lastly, he shows her a TV that shows them families in the mortal realm celebrating Christmas Eve so they can make fun of them. Oh, I missed this one earlier. So when they're talking about Bridge and Tunnel, they also have a moment where they're like, you're just the kind of person that we want. And she was like, is this an Herbalife seminar? And I was like, that's funny. Herbalife is an MLM or a pyramid scheme, if you're not aware. And I'm pretty sure it's headquartered here in Utah because all of them are.
We love a good MLM.
All of them. Who amongst us has not had a family member in an MLM? I was in Mary Kay for a half a second in college.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Guess what? Herbalife is actually located in LA.
Oh, it's Unique that's located here.
Unique and doTERRA.
And Young Living and USANA. New Skin? Or does New Skin just give money to things around here? The only good things that have come out of an MLM. Number one. And this doesn't exist anymore. I'm really bummed about it. The essential oil MLMs like to sponsor the University of Utah gymnastics team. And there used to be a tiny Young Living blimp that would fly around the Huntsman Center and it would drop t-shirts into the crowd. They don't have that anymore because now doTERRA sponsors them. But we are the only gymnastics team in the country that has a beam that is specially branded with doTERRA on it.
New Skin is down around that point of the mountain in Provo.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so they're watching people on the TV so they can make fun of them. And we've seen this before. We saw this in Third Ant from the Sun. There's a lot of spying on people through TV screens in the other realm, and I'm uncomfortable with this. Because, like, the ants are magic, and they don't even know they're being spied on. So mortals definitely don't know when they're being spied on. You could watch anybody doing anything, and that seems very uncomfortable to me. I do not like this concept, anti this storyline.
The equivalent of your cell phone listening to everything.
They claim it doesn't.
Oh, it does.
So much a lie. Although anytime, like half the time I try to get my Google to listen to me to set a timer, it doesn't actually listen. When I do want it to listen, it's not listening.
Well, it's too busy selling your data to actually help you with a timer.
And I'm like walking around my house screaming like, okay, Google.
I once told Google Maps it sucks, and my car respond, and it was like, I'm sorry, how can I do better? And it's like, I'm sorry, Google, I'm sorry. Nope, sorry, robot overlords. I take it back.
Next thing you know, your car's rerouted to drive off a cliff.
Yeah.
Who's next now?
Sometimes Google's like, make this left turn. There's not a light. Go across all these lanes.
Oh, yeah.
And it's probably because I insulted it.
This is why I use Waze. Also because I can be a cute little cat in my Waze car.
Priorities.
Yep. Sabrina starts to get uncomfortable, as she should. Harrison uses a remote to show Zelda and Hilda eating dinner on the screen. He then uses magic to make Sabrina's voice say she's home. Zelda and Hilda get excited, but when the kitchen door swings, no one is there. They think it must be the wind. Sabrina yells at everyone who laughs at them.
Those are my aunts, and none of you are worthy to gaze upon them, you hipper-than-thou, tragically trendy, irony-addicted, snide, smirking, jaded jerks.
That's a little bit of pot and kettle.
Mm-hmm.
Sabrina grabs the remote and turns off the TV, then leaves to get back to her Christmas. Harrison again confronts the returned doorman about letting Sabrina in. The doorman again stammers before jumping out another window. Sabrina comes down the stairs, starting to apologize to Zelda and Hilda, but stops when she sees them on the couch eating dinner off of TV trays. All the decorations are gone. She asks about Christmas, but they're confused. They ask what Christmas is. Sabrina thinks the aunts are trying to make a point, but they still don't know what she's talking about.
I get it. You guys zapped away all the decorations to make a point. Okay, I've learned my lesson. Now let's go and have our traditional Christmas Eve dinner and watch It's a Wonderful Life. Hilda asks, what is that? One of those new teen slasher movies? And I would 100% watch a slasher called It's a Wonderful Life.
I mean, if you change some of the music in certain parts, I bet you can make It's a Wonderful Life a little bit more horror. Sabrina has to go to bed because there's school tomorrow. Sabrina starts to realize they're not joking. She tries again to remind them about Christmas. Zelda thinks she's just faking being sick to get out of school and sends Sabrina to bed. Sabrina sadly walks away. Salem immediately confronts Sabrina about what happened to Christmas when she walks in her room. The spell didn't affect him. So this spell didn't affect him. Last episode, when she eats the cake, that spell affected him because he was like, wait, eat cake, Sabrina. Why? Do some spells. And he calls himself a witch familiar. Is he a witch familiar or is he a witch trapped in a cat's body?
Witch trapped in a cat's body who's now forced to be a familiar, which apparently makes him immune.
But also other spells where we've messed with space-time, like the time ball. The ants were aware that time had changed. The mortals were not. When do spells affect magical people and when do they not?
When it's convenient for the plot.
Okay. Salem tells Sabrina she did something at the other realm party. She realizes she may have used an erase button on the remote, but maybe it didn't affect the whole world. She zaps in the globe from earlier, and now there are no lights. Salem warns her she has 24 hours to bring Christmas back, or it will be gone forever. He knows because the same thing happened to him and Bobunk. Sabrina decides to do Christmassy things to try and get people to remember. Salem says that didn't work with Bobunk. Your suggestion that maybe Bobunk was groundhogsy. I'm just imagining a human Salem walking around with a groundhog being, look at the groundhog! Look at the groundhog! The next morning, Sabrina has laid out a huge Christmas breakfast for the ants. She gives them eggnog and candy canes. Hilda thinks eggnog is disgusting, and Zelda breaks a tooth on the candy cane. Sabrina wishes everyone a merry December 25th at school and hands gifts to a depressed Harvey and Valerie. Valerie got fired from her aunt's store because it's a slow time of the year, and Harvey's allowance got slashed because no one is using his dad's exterminator business to get rid of bugs before parties. Is that the only reason to get rid of a bug? And also, are there a lot of bugs in the winter in Massachusetts to get rid of?
He says nobody cares if their homes are riddled with insects, so the insects are just friends.
Disagree. I will allow 2 spiders to live every summer in my garage, and that is the limit.
It's very gracious of you. In the Bobunk spirit, you allow those 2 spiders to live.
That is 2 more than I would have used to live until I had a year where I lived with a scorpion infestation.
Oh gosh.
Out in Georgia. And now I am pro spider. Oh boy, I realized I hate scorpions more. Sabrina tries to give a present to an angry Miss Quick, who is clearly burned out and needs a break.
Don't try and butter me up, Sabrina. We're having that midterm today. It'll do my heart good to watch the weaker brains explode in a fleshy, fiery eruption.
This was the part where I missed Mr. Kraft for this episode. He would have enjoyed a Christmasless December.
He would.
It would have been funny if Mr. Kraft was in this and he just didn't even change from before and after. It was just the same. Sabrina tries singing Silent Night during the test in Miss Quick's class. Miss Quick tells her to stop. Harvey and Valerie ask what that song is.
This is where the scene ends in Paramount Plus.
Oh, that's so weird. Because they ask her, Valerie says, like, is that the new Celine Dion song? So Sabrina then zaps in drumsticks to sing Little Drummer Boy. Miss Quick yells at her again. And Sabrina tries the Christmas song, the chestnuts roasting on an open fire song. And Miss Quick gives her detention. Oh, I'm sad that you missed that. Because, so when she's doing the Little Drummer Boy, she's doing the pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum. And Miss Quick calls her out for vulgarity. And then she starts singing the chestnuts roasting. And Miss Quick's like, that's it, Miss Potty Mouth. You get detention.
Amazing.
I'm really sad you didn't get that. Oh, Paramount Plus. The cafeteria doors are locked at lunch with a large angry crowd outside them as Sabrina decorates the cafeteria to look like a Christmas carol. She finally lets the students in, pretending to be Jacob Marley. Harvey is disturbed. She then pretends to be Scrooge and frightens Valerie. Last is Tiny Tim, and Miss Quick tells her she's suspended until she's seen by mental health professionals. She should have done the Muppets Christmas Carol version of the Marley and Marley song. That would have gotten everybody into the holiday spirit.
100%.
Sabrina is at a store dressed like Santa and tries yelling at a girl to sit on her lap. The little girl runs off in terror. A security guard approaches Sabrina, who stammers, then she jumps out the window. And you can't see Sabrina's face because of the Santa costume. Do we think it's the same guy from earlier that did the stunt for her?
Probably. I also love watching those jump out the windows because you can see like the fabric curtain behind sway in all of these jumps.
What are you talking about? This is a high quality production, Skye.
Oh, yes.
AI could never. The police officer brings the Santa Sabrina to her aunt's door and warns them that she might be on drugs. This is our third reference to drugs this episode.
Whoa.
I think that's a record for us. Sabrina lays in her bed talking to Salem. She's got to find someone who remembers Christmas. Salem tells her to try Father Christmas, who is clearly not Santa Claus, as we met Santa Claus last year. She finds him in the Witch Pink pages. Sabrina finds Father Christmas fishing on a family vacation with his wife and their many very white grandchildren. He's enjoying this rare break from Christmas. Sabrina doesn't understand. He says Christmas isn't as important as spending time with your family. She asks him to get Christmas back, but he can't help her.
Can't you help me get Christmas back? I mean, as a favor? I didn't want to mention this, but my country did save your butt during World War II.
Which country do we think she's implying he's from? Poland?
Maybe.
I was like, I don't think we saved the Nordic countries. I think that was Russia. But also, they weren't super involved. But like, I don't know what country it is she's saying that we saved. But okay.
Yeah, and St. Nicholas technically was in Turkey.
Papa Noel's French. Maybe she's trying to say we saved the French?
Maybe.
That's a thing us Americans like to say.
We like to think we're saving people.
Only Sabrina can undo what she's done. Sabrina paces in the living room. Christmas is almost gone for good. It's 11 p.m. and the aunts are leaving to go to the pharmacy. What pharmacy? What do you need so urgently? Do you need antibiotics? Do you have strep throat? What's going on?
They also need some of the drugs.
Drugs for everyone. But it's snowing really hard, so they decide to stay home. Sabrina pouts. The aunts are worried about her. She realized there are some things you don't miss until they're gone. Like a snowboard, chimes in Salem. Sabrina throws a pillow at him, but hits Hilda. Hilda tries to hit Sabrina, but ends up getting Zelda. This results in a pillow fight.
Salem says, someone's gonna end up crying. Probably me. Sobs.
And that is a pretty famous Salem gift / meme. We flip to later. They're all hungry and race to the kitchen to determine who makes the sandwiches. Hilda and Sabrina lose and need to make the sandwiches. They start and Sabrina squirts mustard on Hilda, who retaliates with ketchup. My question is, which kind of sandwich has ketchup on it?
What is your definition of a sandwich?
Bread, some meat, usually condiments.
So therefore, a hamburger can be a sandwich.
Okay, there was deli meat on that tray. What kind of deli meat sandwich has ketchup on it? It looked like maybe ham or bologna.
I'm just answering your question about what kind of sandwich has ketchup on it. And I present to you a hamburger.
Fine.
Don't roll your eyes at me.
Yes, but deli meat sandwich. What kind of deli meat sandwich do you eat with ketchup?
You know, these people eat asparagus with ketchup, which is terrible. So
That's true.
maybe family secret actually is that they're addicted to ketchup and they should not use it in half the ways they do. Done. I solved it.
I'm going to need you to eat a ham and ketchup sandwich. I feel like that wouldn't be as bad as asparagus.
That's true.
But you also have to put mustard on it. And I'm pretty sure there was also lettuce on that tray. So it's a ham, mustard, ketchup, lettuce sandwich.
You just want me to die.
None of this has even come close to hurting you as much as you've hurt yourself over the years.
I'm gonna get like botulism and die.
The combination of ham and ketchup somehow turns into a deadly toxin.
Exactly.
Scene flips again. They're all covered in food. Sabrina tells them to clean up and she'll make the sandwiches. Hilda points and the kitchen is clean. Zelda is glad they got snowed in. Hilda and Zelda go into the dining room while Sabrina zaps a tray of sandwiches. She tells Salem Father Christmas was right. The important part of Christmas is spending time with family. I want to adjust that to say the important part of Christmas is spending time with loved ones, which can include friends, Hilda and Zelda. Magic pings and we get some magically sparkly dust. When she walks into the dining room, Christmas Eve has returned. The Answer's so happy she's decided to have dinner with them. Sabrina tries to say it's not Christmas Eve, but realizes that they've both said Christmas. She grabs Salem and takes him into the living room where the decorations and presents have returned. The doorbell rings and Harvey and Valerie are there with presents. Valerie asks why Sabrina is smiling so much. She searches for a reason and says it's because Harvey is under the mistletoe. Zelda comes in with a tray of glasses with eggnog. They all toast to family, friends, and Christmas being back, even though none of them remember Christmas being gone. And this is part of my theory that people just let Sabrina say whatever she wants and don't question it. Our end tag. Sabrina opens a present from Father Christmas, or Cousin Chris. It's a picture of Robert E. Lee, and it's a clue to the family secret. Father Christmas includes a card saying he's glad she figured it out. Just then, Salem comes sliding down the stairs on a snowboard and goes right out the open, for some reason, front door.
Sabrina says Robert E. Lee must be a clue to the family secret. I can never get enough of these. Yeah, you're right, Sabrina, because we've had like 4. You need more. I need more. We can't get enough of these because we've been starved and have had barely any.
We've had 5, technically. We've had 4 pictures, plus last week's there are good and bad parts in all of us statement.
My bad. A 5 makes it okay.
What's your guess for the family secret?
You know, I almost lost it tonight. When they pulled out a photo of Robert E. Lee, like I was ready to just Google it and say, nope, I'm done. But here I am suffering for y'all.
Okay, let's review all the clues we have. We have a Superman that's clearly Spellman. We have a whip, we have a horn, we have a picture of Robert E. Lee, and we have the statement, there are good and bad parts inside all of us. That's what you have to work with.
And I hate it. The cop-out would be the ketchup thing I said earlier. Robert E. Lee just has to be like an example of a person. Like it can't actually refer to him because he was only like 1800s. That's barely any of the family because these people have been alive for so long. But why do we have to choose a Confederate general?
You're gonna be so mad.
I am gonna be so mad. And I'm already mad because of this. So best I have is like, they have a little bit of tendency to colonize and oppress people. Done.
They're all colonizers.
They're colonizers with their whips and their horns and their good and bad parts.
If the theory about the witches being aliens is true, then they are colonizers. They're alien colonizers.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh. What's your new title, Skye?
Bah humbug.
Well, next episode. Season 3, episode 12. Whose so-called life is it anyway? You want to take a stab at what that's about?
My so-called life was a TV show, right?
So it's 2 things. It's referencing the TV show My So-Called Life and Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Okay.
And it's combined the 2 of them.
Oh, gosh. It's gonna be improv and I'm gonna hate it. we'll get another family secret. That's going to piss me off, and I'm going to be extra mad.
We do not get a family secret next episode. You have to wait 2 to get the next one.
But we can never get enough of these, Laura, because there's so many.
Did you have a guess? Was that your guess?
Yeah, improv,
okay.
And I'm going to hate it.
Okay, well, on that note, please like, share, rate, and subscribe to this podcast. You can email us at somethingwitchypod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram at somethingwitchypod. And thank you to the new followers that have joined us from when I commented on Melissa Joan Hart's latest post.
Ooh.
She did a little reel that was like, what's your favorite Sabrina episode? Because she's like, I haven't watched them. It's been so long. And I commented, hey, you should do a rewatch and listen to our podcast while you do it. And I got some likes and we got some new followers from that like. So thank you, new friends.
Look at you using the social media.
So now I'm just going to comment on Melissa Joan Hart's social media all the time.
Restraining order in 3, 2, 1.
Curtis Anderson, aka Gordy, said he would send us signed toilet paper rolls from him and Nate in exchange for stickers for us.
For reals or
No, I didn't follow up. I need to listen to their podcast because apparently it was a joke on their podcast and they posted something about like that conversation they had about signing toilet paper rolls to sell.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, hey, I'll trade you some stickers for a toilet paper roll. And he said, deal. And then I was really scared that he might actually want stickers and I'm intimidated by him. So I didn't respond after that.
It's not using the social media effectively.
It is not. I gotta get braver with Gordy.
I believe in you.
All right. Well, until next time.
Stay magical.